You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. As Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. What was also interesting is that he gave an interview yesterday with Brian Kilmeade on Fox News. And the issue came up with regards to, the taking down of Confederate statues. And Donald Trump actually had some advice for black people. Watch this. Guys, we have the video? Okay, all right. It was, first of all, it was, let me try to find this here, y'all, but it was utterly hilarious when what Donald Trump said. And so just to paraphrase, he actually, you know what? I can't even paraphrase the level of stupidity. So let me just play the clip so y'all can see it because, he's been asked about this repeatedly. And he's standing up for the Confederates repeatedly and having their back. And he basically said, again, I'm trying to see if I can find this video. He said in the interview that, well, basically, black folks, we need to learn history. We need to learn our history. I would think the reason we're saying tear them down, because we pretty much have learned our history, Mustafa.
Well, there's a difference between his story and history. His story is that revisionist history that they continue to pump into the educational system to make folks think that black folks, African Americans, are not as great as they have been. And we must be great to actually be able to navigate all of the barriers that have been put in front of us, the systemic racism that was built into policies to keep us anchored, to keep us chatteled. So for him to want to teach us about history, we know our history and we know your history. And that's the reason we're going to take care of you in November.
It sort of reminds me, Avis, of when Bill O'Reilly tried to tell Colin Kaepernick to learn about black patriotism, which was utterly laughable. That's sort of the same thing with this idiot.
It really is. It's insulting, especially from someone who is as obtuse and completely ignorant and idiotic and vacuous as that person that lives at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. It is insulting. Clearly, he is someone who has once again engaged in dog whistling, signaling, foghorning his base, because he knows exactly what he's doing. For him to, as the president of the United States, sit here on television and defend a rebellious segment, which are not actually Americans. They were representing the Confederacy, which was trying to destroy America, is absolutely ridiculous. So if anyone needs to learn history, it's clearly that idiot that resides at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Listen to this ridiculous stuff, Michael.
How you look at Thomas Jefferson, you look at George Washington, you look at James Monroe, look at James Madison. One thing they were brilliant. They also had slaves. So how do we grow as a country, but yet not forget our past?
So you have to understand history, and you have to understand the culture and so many other aspects of our country. And people can study that and they can hate it, and let's all hate it. But you can't take down George Washington's statue, and half of our country is named after Washington. You can't. We have to remember the heritage, the culture of our country. And this is less important, but it's very important. Some of the things that they're trying to destroy are magnificent pieces of art. Have you ever seen an area where a statue is removed and you look at the area and they put blacktop over the top of it, they put asphalt over the top, and that's the end? And it was the center of a town or a village, and now the statue's gone, and the whole village is like a different place. And here's the other problem I have. A lot of these people that want it down don't even know what they're taking down. I watch them on television, and I see what's happening. and they're ripping down things. They have no idea what they're ripping down. But they started off with the Confederate, and then they go to Ulysses S. Grant. Well, what's that all about? And they would knock down Lincoln. There's a group that wants to take down Lincoln. They haven't figured out exactly why yet. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson. I've stopped them twice now from going over to the Jefferson Memorial. Not going to happen.
Francis Scott Key, the latest writer of the national anthem.
He wrote the national anthem.
So, since you have done a lot for the African American community, what is your message to them who said my ancestors were enslaved because of their?
My message is that we have a great country. We have the greatest country on earth. We have a heritage, we have a history, and we should learn from the history. And if you don't understand your history, you will go back to it again. You will go right back to it. You have to learn. Think of it. You take away that whole era, and you're going to go back to it sometime. People won't know about it. They're going to forget about it. It's okay. Now, what I do like, I like the idea of building new statues to people, to great people, people that have done something. And I think that's okay. Right. But you don't want to take away our heritage and our history. And the beauty, in many cases, the beauty, the artistic beauty, some of the sculptures and some of this work is some of the great. You can go to France, you can go anywhere in the world, and you'll never see more magnificent work. And that's a factor. It's not the biggest factor, but it's a factor.
Michael, it's just, we as black people should just be thankful for these beautiful Confederate monuments. We should just be thankful for the flowers that are around them. I mean, wow. Things we never thought about.
Part of the wow is he clearly, and we all know this, he's a walking hypocrite. Remember in the early days, well, not the early days, he always talks about how he only deals with winners, and I love winners. Now, the history books I learned from is the Confederates, the Army lost. They're losers. And they were fighting a battle for what was wrong, and certainly on the wrong side of history. I know they like to hide behind, it was for states' rights. It wasn't for states' rights. It was to keep slavery legal in that part of the country. So give me a break. He's a walking hypocrite. So here, losers, he's trying to defend. And that's what's going to continue to happen with this president, with Republicans on the Hill who are, I know a lot of us saw the footage when reporters were asking Republicans when they were walking through the press room to comment on the different issues related to whether it's mask wearing, whether it's Confederate statues. And these Republicans just keep on walking. Now, a couple of them stopped. A couple of them gave a couple little weird little comments, but they're enablers. And as long as they're enablers, and until the Senate goes down and Mitch McConnell is no longer the majority leader, and clearly there's a new president, we're going to continue to see this kind of offensive both behavior and language.
Well, Avis, he's saying that we should just be some thankful black people.
Yeah, I'll be thankful when we vote his behind out of office in November. That's when I'll be thankful. It is, once again, it's just insulting to our intelligence. And it's disrespectful to our history to make it invisible and irrelevant in the larger context of what he was describing. Of course, we should have the right and we have the historical memory that is necessary to understand our struggle. And that has created a moment in this particular period in history in which there are many of us who are saying it's time to stop allowing these symbols that are reflective of people who were abusive and not only traitors to the nation, but specifically abusive and murderous and rapists and everything you can mention to our ancestors. Both of my parents are Black. I come by the skin color as a result of somebody taking something that didn't belong to them. So I think that, to sit here and try to erase that history, to me, is the height of insulting. And I cannot wait until we galvanize our power to get him out of office in November.
All right, folks, back to our Road Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment. folks, at Seek.com, partnership with us. Folks have these headphones, amazing headphones. And also, there's this virtual reality headset right here. Of course, the headphone, 360-degree, 4D, amazing sound. You absolutely love it for gaming, for listening to music, for watching movies, you name it. Go to Seek.com, CEEK.com, and use this promo code RMVIP 2020, RMVIP 2020, right here. And so, folks, again, and so Mary Spio is a sister. She is the inventor of this. It's her website as well. So it's Seek.com, CEEK.com.